so that's not going to work at all.
I could make it work.
Are we live? It's 10 seconds. It should be.
There you go.
All right.
I have no idea.
We're live. Good. Well, welcome back to Drawing Blood episode 35. I'm calling it audible, or 34. It's an inside look at our game Drawing Blood, which is a traditionally animated top-down adventure. It's very much in the spirit of Zelda, or Binding of Isaac, or any of the ones you guys might have grown up with. I'm Chris Barnes, and with me today is Bob Fox to my right, and Cody all the way from the swamplands of Florida. So maybe GB Crew will join us too. So let's see, we're recapping last week where we kind of ended with Corey doing these emotions right here. So I'm going to show you a few of those right now. We're going to do some walk cycles today, but also when more people get around to these parts, I'm going to show you what we did for our Twitch promotion with that big rat, if you guys seen it on Twitter or Facebook or any of it. And he's one of the bosses we should be encountering in level 1, and that's what we're building so far for our MagFest coming 2020, early 2020. Alright, so I'm going to just jump right into this walk cycle. You can see here that I kind of got these 5 emotions that we're playing with for Corey, and we're going to need to do a walk cycle on every angle, but I thought it would be fun to kind of play with the different kind of walk cycles if he's happy, sad, scared, or angry. So we're going to just worry about profile and 3/4 walk cycles today. So I'll go into this symbol, and you can see I set it up. It's on 3s right now. We'll have to put it on 1s because he'll be panning. We shoot on 1s if the character is going to be panning because we don't want any strobing. And we could shoot Becky on 2s actually because the camera is fixed on her and you don't notice it as much. But if we pan Corey and he's on 2s and 3s and stuff, it might not look as natural as we want it to be. And since he's an NPC, we're not really going to be controlling him, so he'll never be fixed camera really. So I separated it in 3 layers. We got the head, arm, and torso. And what I like about this setup is we can use this body for other characters with the similar body shape, so we can kind of have some reuse with the sprites, and same with the arm, and then we just had to swap out the heads. So I'm going to continue with just the body first. We'll just focus on this walk cycle. It's a simple, quick walk cycle. He has short legs, and these characters kind of zip around, so it's probably twice as fast as your average animated walk cycle, which should be around 24 frames. This is half a beat, though. What's going on?
I guess I can't.
Your headphones? We're having headphones. We always have audio troubles here.
Well, it's when we do these audio streams, I can't listen anymore because it's too...
But I can talk to you. And,
yeah, you can
okay.
I just can't hear Cody.
Sign me up.
I'll take that.
You want to reverse?
Did it, then there goes that too.
Then you tripped us. Oh, no. Now we have
that.
Now we're good.
There we go.
All right.
Mine off anyways,
So Bob turned it off.
I don't wanna
He'll still join in, though. I figure by episode 40 we'll have everything going. Or maybe we'll try to set this up before 158. Alright, so I'm going to just start in-betweening this thing. Now, we're on 3rds, which I've never really animated on for this show, for these live streams. And 3rds mean I'm going to... walk cycles are even, meaning like they don't have a lot of ease in, ease outs. So we're going to have to favor either side when you're shooting on 3rds. Now, if I extend this, each one like that, we have a different kind of walk cycle, which I might just see what that looks like first, but I think that's going to be a little slow. Yeah, that might work, actually.
Lauren's here.
Oh, hey, Lauren, how you doing? Happy Friday to you. I saw one of your new Twitter animations. But was that the one with the skateboard, Bob?
Yeah.
That looked amazing, Lauren, if you want to throw that up there so people can check it out. Really liked what you've been doing. Let's see. You know what? Let's try it on 17s. It might work. I'll pan them along, and if it's too slow, we can take out some frames. This is a good way to get thirds anyway. I could show you a little trick. If you want to go the extra mile and shoot it on thirds, you just take out the middle frame of each one. Alright, so this is pretty close together. I don't think we're going to need to rough much out here, so let's just go right to it. Walk cycles are way more just technical than anything. That's why I wanted to play with different kind of walk cycles, so we don't just get just this kind of this is kind of just a neutral walk cycle here where it doesn't have a lot of emotion. Alright, that's Cody typing away. Not on blood though, I can assure you. Alright, we also are trying to get a copy of the game, so maybe we can, if we can play it. We're not sure. Hey, how's it going, Pure Binder? And Bunny Eat Muffin. Hello, how you doing? You're new, right, Bunny?
Bunny Eat Muffin sounds like a new one. I don't know.
That I just saw her pop up in a new subscriber. So, yeah, we might actually get a little gameplay footage if we can get it to work on the PlayStation controller. Which that might be untested, right? Right, everyone? Or does it work?
We've done
it before?
Yeah, we've done it sometimes.
I use that at home.
It's a little wonky though, right?
Oh, it's just different controls than what. I think they all kind of land in the same spot.
Okay, cool. So he kicks out the foot there, comes back down. I've never been a giant fan of walk cycles. They don't have any. We always had to do them, but they're just so technical. It takes the fun out of animation, but we do need them for this game. So,
And lots of them.
and lots of them. So, no, I thought this would be a good chance to kind of show what goes into just one direction with one emotion.
Not the band.
Not the band, One Direction. They're not sponsoring us either. We could write a book with who doesn't sponsor us. Alright, so we're going to kind of bend down the knee there. Alright, so now it's on twos. Let's take a look at that. Oh, hold on. We got some stuff here. Just saw the Blood trailer today. Love the animation. So excited to see these. Oh, very cool. New fan now. I'm kind of the opposite. Oh, you like doing walk cycles?
I kind of enjoy the technical ones myself.
I mean, there's some. I guess it's less mentally kind of like it takes less of
technical stuff in general. I think more.
Yeah, you're definitely more like the analytical kind of. Clumsy Martian, how you doing? Good. Thanks for joining us. And walk cycles, yeah. All right, so we're all caught up. Yeah, when we get a little deeper into this, I'll show you a little of what I deem the fun kind of animations that we were working on. This big kind of rat creature that'll serve as a boss, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of detail in him. So he's a big boy though, so it's going to be big sprites, and I'm not sure how we're going to export the sprites yet with something that big. KS Tunes, what is that? 10? I don't know. It sounded fun.
We don't know. Cody should know more about
Cody, what is the KS Tunes with 10 next to it and a floating pyramid mean?
They cheered us with 10 bits.
Oh, they cheered. Oh, you know what? We have to get people who do stuff like that. We should send out monthly personal drawings to them. We'll have to get everyone's email, but if they're up for. Hey, and my cousin's here, all the way from Florida. Another Florida dweller. Shane, how's it going? I'm actually going down to Florida Sunday to see Nanny.
What? You didn't tell me this?
Well, she's not feeling very well.
I
So,
know.
yeah. So, no, my
The whole family coming down?
not Annie. It's me and Haley, and we're gonna meet our other cousin Allie, and I think my Aunt Gwen's gonna be there. So, Okay. Oh, 90. Oh, I don't know what any of this means, but I assure you I'm flattered. Yeah, maybe, Shane, when you come back up to New York, though, stop by. We always have a place for you to couch surf. And we can catch up. I haven't seen you since Christmas. Yeah, so Chaos Tunes, if you want to send over here, I'll send you my email, actually. And anyone could use this.
That's secret email.
That's secret. You'll never guess it. Oh, and it's all capital. Let me write that again. You can see how slow I type. Studios.com. So, Chaos Tunes, if you want to send me your email or just shoot me, we'll send you a personalized drawing of one of the characters saying hi to you or something like that. And yeah, anyone who wants to do something like that for us, we'll gladly do the same. Just we'll give you a list of characters to pick, and we'll personalize it for you. So thank you. So nice. Yeah, that's my and anyone can use that email if you ever have an animation question you want me to answer. Personally, we get a lot of work emails, and so it's always nice to see someone that doesn't have something disparaging to say to me or Bob. All right. So we're shooting this on ones, and I'll show you what I mean when we pan it along, if it's going to be too slow or something. This is kind of hard to gauge for us, too, because I'm not sure how fast these characters should move in the game either, because
Yeah,
I've
you
been
might
in
be
games
kinda
where NPCs are slower, and that's really aggravating, and if they're too fast, it's aggravating, so we kind of have to figure out how fast Becky moves
feel
as a
like
walk, and then kind of multiply
Corey's
that.
gonna have to have two different styles. Like if
Well, he'll need to run, too.
yeah,
Like,
so he could
always...
go from in and out to follow you faster. Or
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
moves slower, he would walk.
Yeah. And I wanted a part of the game where he sneaks around, like if you actually could
That's
control
kinda what I
him,
was trying to
like
work on
do
when I was
like
doing the
kind of
one.
like one of those.
Yeah.
Sent. All right, you sent me an email. All right, I'm gonna check it out and I'll get you a drawing. You should have a drawing by 5. Chaos Tunes. Yeah, so we're gonna. I don't know how to figure that out though. I never thought of it that way. Cody, do you want to chime in on how we figure out how fast Becky walks? Do we?
Yeah, that's always been I ran some tests, almost 6 months ago, like how to handle like running versus walking. Is the great thing is, Chris, you animate so many, you give me walking, running, jumping, all this stuff, but then when you get it into the game, it's always like, like, I kept running into, hey, are we ever gonna want to walk slow? Like,
I haven't seen a lot of people like press the controller very tentatively, but that should be
Yeah.
a part of the game, I would think, right?
Yeah, and we talked about that, maybe like
Later on.
making sneaking a thing instead of, because no one wants to go slow. And
No,
I get that.
yeah, no. That's why it's so fun when in Zelda when you get the boots. Well, no, that's interesting how they did it because you can only go one direction and you kind of have to ramp up to it. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. Isn't this compelling stuff, everyone? By the way, haven't seen your paper bag. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
Have you seen Paper Bag Animation?
the new studio. I have not seen it.
I don't even know.
Isn't this animation traditionally done? It sort of looks like digital puppets. It's all digitally frame by frame. We're doing this one has different layers because I want to swap out the heads though. Traditional now. Yeah, I mean it's traditionally done in the sense that we're animating every frame, but we're not doing it on paper. We're not doing it the way Cuphead did it. But
Yeah.
we don't have the same size team either. And I don't have the patience to work on paper anymore. I did enough of that at that
That's cool.
SVA.
Can't wait second.
Well, the thing is, ironically, you scan it in, and then it's in your
So
computer
you're still
anyway.
using your
So
computer
you're
after all
just
that.
we're just kind of skipping. You don't get that paper texture, but I could live with that. All right, so Almost done with this one. And I didn't rough any of these out because you can see how small it is. And when you see everything at 25%, which is the actual size of the sprite, even the imperfections don't really get picked up too hard. Alright, so let's take a look at this, and maybe I'll pan them along and see if it looks good on a background. We can kind of test out the speed. Alright. So the arm I added, let me color that first, but you can see I added some sway on the arm. Like, it'll kind of favor one side or the other, and a lot of walk cycles, when people first start doing them, they do it somewhat rigid, you know, where the arm is very kind of just moving at a very even pace. If you look at walk cycles, and any walk cycles with a little bit of like attitude or with them, you'll notice that it always favors one side. So if you really exaggerate it, when the arm's coming up, your palm is facing down, and when it's going back, the palm kind of swings back up. Like a traditional 13 episode.
If you could, would you be a studio that produces animation for a TV series?
Oh, we could. We're only 2 animators, so you would have to wait years. And some studios do take years to do series, but we're not really equipped in that regard. We're definitely focused on short form animation. It's sort of been our bread and butter, and we've been doing it for 7 years. But we have made stuff. We've made pilots. Now, if the pilot ever went on to make more, we would have to ask for bigger studios to kind of chip in or serve as just the pre-production studio. What's the longest? We did one. Transporter
KO,
was.
we did 30 minutes.
Yeah, we did 30 minutes.
Of stuff.
That was the hardest.
Yeah.
That's the hardest half hour of my life.
Bunny Eat Muffin asked, "Is auto smooth? There's no smooth."
No, this is an old version of Flash. So, but when I do use Adobe Animate, I go around 40 or 50.
Well, I've been turning it even lower and
You
lower.
lower it, and is that because it gives you more of like an inconsistent line? Yeah, it depends what you're going for. I like
It seems
kind of the
like
smoother
I can't
stuff.
tell a huge difference in Animate anyway. It's like from
Well,
100
if you-
to 0, I can tell a difference. But
Yeah,
from
but
100,
like,
what's the point?
They could probably change it to like 1 to 10, you know,
Yeah.
and then you could kind of gauge on there, because you're right. There's probably no difference between, 30 and 35 that a human can tell. We also what did we just buy, Bob, so we can work on.
My
We
wife
haven't
is
mentioned it to
happy
our
about
wives
that.
yet,
Well,
but we're
yeah,
gonna have
she
to
was-
work on the
yeah.
vacation. So.
She's like, "Does that mean you're gonna work on vacation? Why even bother?" or something. What's the?
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I've been using 40 is a good one. I've noticed 50 is pretty decent. I think it starts in the middle, and you can kind of focus on either side. When did the smoothing tool come in? Was that CS3 that happened, Bob?
The smoothing? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I never used. I don't even remember a CS1 or 2. Like, did it just
No,
go to
I
CS3?
never used.
don't
I never
think so.
used the first CS I used was CS3. I
That's
don't
what I'm
remember.
saying.
I don't
Did
even. I
they
don't even
ever
hear
have
people.
a 1 and 2?
You think it just went to? Yeah, it could have. I don't know. All right. Oop, zoomed in a little too far. And you can see these are so close to. You won't need to rough these out when you're working this small. Now, what's nice about this is because I didn't add any fingers, because I could, but it would get so muddy when you zoom out. I could use this if I decide to make a second hand behind him, but that might look a little funky too because, again, because of the size. So I could duplicate this and put it on the layer behind, and we could check that out too. A lot of this stuff's experimental right now. So just do these real quick. What's also nice about Flash MX, and I'm a big proponent of it, those of you who heard me complain about Adobe Animate know, but I've been saving periodically. Oh, and a new subscriber. Thank you.
Followers.
Macromedia Flash is pretty. Yeah, I'm glad people at least recognize. I'm not aging myself out. I imagine in 3 years, if we're still doing this, people are gonna be like, "What the hell are you guys working in?" I was sort of thinking. Remember the intro sequence for Angry Video? How did you count? Oh, I could show you how we did the pixel thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do.
I could show you. It's arduous. I don't know if it would make good Twitch, but I could show you how we set it up to do the pixel look. It's the same program actually, so it's vector pixels, not Photoshop pixels. But it involves snapping to a grid and using the line tool. You literally have to do one square at a time unless you're doing a horizontal or a vertical line.
Then you can do 2.
Then you could do upwards of 2 to 3. That was fun though, and the
Your definition
AVGN
of fun
thing.
and my definition of fun were.
Well, I liked working with I like working with people like AVGN because there's no revisions. They just kind of
Yeah.
they like what you hand them, and they pick you because they like their stuff and your stuff, and then you move on. All right, so we got a little walk cycle here, so we're gonna have to bob the head up and down. But what's nice about a walk cycle like this, you can turn the head, and some people do that. And technically the head should probably turn a little when you walk. You kind of favor one side or the other, kind of like your torso swinging. With this kind of stuff, and it's a pretty flat style, I could just worry about the up and down. And since a walk cycle is 2 ups and 2 downs, I only have to do half the animation and then duplicate it. So 5 would be the high point. That's when that's when his leg's straight and your torso shoots up. 9 would be the down point, which is this. So you really only have to do a quarter of the animation because we'll just reverse the frames to 5. So I'm going to break that. After this, I'll show you the rat because that's pretty cool stuff. But first, I'll show the pixel thing. It must be nice to not. It must be nice not to get constant. I don't update Adobe because I did that once and they took away the pressure sensitivity and we were in the middle of a job. And then when I called to curse them out, they just told me we're gonna work on that and here's the support group. And I wish I was joking. And I don't know. I'm this weird guy. I'm the weirdest guy on the planet because I think when you run something, they can't go in the middle of the night and change the thing under you without your permission. They see it different. Alright, so the ear is going to go down. I'm roughing this one out first, even though it looks a little clean. So the ear's going down, but the eyes are going up. That's kind of just indicating a little shift in the plane of his head. So then we can lift that up a little bit. Now, if the head's not moving quite enough in this, what I'll do is make this a symbol, and then I can puppet it up and down. No, we were working on something for Warner Brothers, and we had to do storyboards for them.
Yeah, we didn't have.
And they were using
I was still
Adobe
using my
Animate,
Mac.
else I would have never turned it on.
I was using my old Mac.
Yeah, you had a
and
Mac at the time, and I had a PC. And the Mac, the pressure sensitivity didn't shut off, but
It worked, but the PC didn't.
worked. I mean, worked is in air quotes. I asked because I want to develop a children's series that would utilize 2D pixel animation for a majority of the anime. I mean,
that'd be a good.
well, I mean, I can show you how to achieve 2 pixel in Flash. I've seen people really cruise through pixel art and animation though in Photoshop. I just don't know Photoshop as well, and I'll get into it a little more when I show you how we do the pixel stuff. But we kind of set up a library, like the pixel stuff we did was supposed to mimic a game anyway, like a 16-bit game. So I set everything up as sprites almost, so I could kind of manipulate them in Flash. And I'm not sure. Oh, and Esteban's here. F for respect. Thanks, Esteban. Which are you talking about? Kung Fu Kickball or the latest Twitch? Oh yeah, I should show Kung Fu Kickball. You know, Bob, that might be interesting to show next week. If you want to do an After Effects thing on how you did Kung Fu Kickball, I don't think Jonah would mind showing kind of that.
I was thinking maybe we'd do like a rigging.
Oh yeah, we could do that too.
Make up almost like a Sesame Street kind of, or Umi kind of character, and just.
Oh
bring that to it.
I could learn something. All of it, you guys are legends. For those who don't know who Echo Bridge is, actually that's in Cody. A lot of Florida people today. He owns a company called Echo Bridge. His name's Esteban. It's in, I believe it's St. Petersburg, Florida. I could be wrong about that. I know it's in Florida. And he just got finished animating a show, right, Esteban? You want to drop any promotion in here? Go for it. Anyway, I always reach out to poor Esteban. I just reach out to him when I'm depressed about animation, so he's sort of my shrink, my animation shrink. I should start doing it when I'm in a good mood, just so he doesn't get tired of my bitching. No, I'm just like, it's always weird hypothetical question. It's like, what do you do when no clients are talking to you, or like. Oh, he's hanging out in a coffee break. All right. Well, that's very selfless of you, Esteban. But I'll continue to sing your praises then. No, I always reach out to him. He's been in the industry for a while now, longer than Bob or myself. So, and he runs a really fairly decent sized studio, not just two guys messing around above a diner. He's actually getting stuff done. All right, so there's gonna be no favoring on this one, and I'm gonna see if we're gonna need to puppet it anyway. So you can see we kind of have a very neutral expression on Corey here. Now I could probably use the same exact body and just change the arm for the happy one. Like when you're happy, you kind of would probably swing your arms a little more. So I could play with that, and then that could be fun. But I got a lot of homework about the pixel stuff and Kung Fu Kickball.
Cody,
Kung Fu Kickball.
They can do the high pants walk like Cody.
20 years old. What's up?
They can do the high pants walk like Cody.
Yeah. Oh, Cody. He is a bit of the Cody character in the game, I suppose. Ooh, another subscriber. Thanks for joining. We'll take it. I'm always fascinated that people wanna listen to my nasally drone and watch me draw one frame at a time, but I appreciate it. I choose pixel animation for the aesthetic, so it would be set itself apart from the most other preschool series like Paw Patrol, Nella the Brown. I know all those. No,
The only problem was with like Nickelodeon hated pixels.
I remember when we
there was a really cool pixel one they did, and they changed it.
Yeah, we pitched a bunch of video game stuff to Nickelodeon. Now, keep in mind that was when they were still talking to us, and they were still making stuff. But they're a little behind. But they were pretty against anything that felt like a video game, which I thought was a little weird since so many people actually gravitate towards video games. But I don't know if they changed their tune.
That's the mom was asking, how important would you consider drawing a skill for anime?
For me, it's one of the most important skills for animating. I don't know, like in terms of
Like,
the
you don't
animation
draw-
business,
yeah.
not so much, but for the actual animating, it's all about muscle memory and kind of getting control of your line, and it's probably even a little more important, I think, for in betweens, like people who are starting off, because you really need to have a good grasp of like line weight and all that stuff. So, I think it's the number one component for animation, if anything. And then there's storytelling and stuff, which is sort of the kind of like all that meta stuff. Like I don't even know how to teach like that kind of that end of the spectrum. But in terms of technicality, I think drum's the most important part. All right, so we got an up and down. Up and down, and now I can see if we need to pop it. His chin should go up a little bit. Let me just grab that. So this is what I was talking about. I'll call this Corey 3-4. That means 3/4. So I know, we try to keep the symbols kind of in one place. Neutral.
That's Cody's problem.
But you can see if you open up the library, they're all over the place. Okay. Now what I could do here is puppet this up and down, and then I could even add in ease and ease outs if I want to, if it's a little too robotic. So what I'll do is actually start a little lower here. I'll go up. So I'll just move the symbol up to where it should be. Motion tweak.
Oh, I can't move with the PlayStation controller.
Oh, it's not working. You can't move it? That's pretty important.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Guide that.
I don't know if it was something I had to do.
That might be a little more fun. I'm going to keep this one here. I can guide the layer below it if I ever decide against it. So that won't show up. Oops, wrong layer. Okay, so we can turn that off. Alright, so that's that now. So I'm going to grab him.
Oh, no. Oh, no, those. Oh,
Is it working?
yeah, I don't know. What
So
that
this is a normal size screen. Like this is what you would see on your television, say if you have a HD kind of screen, widescreen. So remember I said this is at 100%, so you're going to see the sprites at 25%. So this is what he'll look like on the screen. Now what we could do is to test this out. Just pan him across, see if this is a good speed, and then Cody and I and Bob are going to have to, he's going to cruise through that. Yeah, he sees
I'm not gonna kill you. Good speed.
good speed. And that's not a bad speed, but he's still not tracking right. He's still not tracking right, so we might have to speed this up, because I don't know, if I was walking behind this in a game, I could tell, I know a lot of gamers who would be pissed. So we might have to speed him up a little bit, which we could just detract frames. Now what I do, my good friend Aaron Augenblick, who runs Augenblick Studios, he taught me how to kind of track your pans. So what you want to do is, you see how this blue line here is at the bottom of his heel. What you want to do to figure out the pan is get so the heel stays there. So you can do it two ways, by extending. See, now his heel's kind of tracking. So this is actually a pretty accurate pace on what we're animating. Now it might be fine if he wasn't in your way or anything, but that looks pretty slow to me for a game. So, alright, so I'll save this as test, walk test, just so I have that here, and then we'll play with the speed. Alright, so pixels, let's talk about pixels. Always fun. This is a kind of a game dev thing anyway. Actually, the show would also be in CGI, but it's not as smooth as most sketch shows. More based on 2D style CGI movies, like the Peanuts. Oh, I love the Peanuts movie. Yeah, I like when 3D actually makes it look like 2D hybrid, and it would be based off games like Sonic. Or okay, so let me show you how we did those pixels. And I don't think we're in like most studios who do pixels with this. Like, I kind of found a default in Flash to make it work this way, but I'll show you what we did. Alright, so I believe we call, the hell did I call our, when I did our little game intro? Was it in just, do you remember what I called it?
Which one?
The pixel one for,
Is it an AVGN?
I can open the
That
AVGN
one, or which one are you thinking of?
The one that we did of me and you.
Oh, that one. I'm not sure.
What the heck did I call it?
I
Okay,
could
well let me
imagine
just
it
go to
never being on
AVGN.
the
It's the
server.
same thing. Yeah, it might not have been. Zelda, QuickTime music. I did one for Aaron too. That's all
Yeah.
pixel. I can open up this one. Aaron plays. Okay, so the AVGN guys are kind of associated with this girl, a lesser-known YouTube star called Aaron Plays. So we did one for her too, so you can see this is all pixel. Now this is all done in Flash. So you can see all the pixels here. Now how did we get that? That's the secret. You see it's huge because I had to shrink it down. So what I would do is go to File, New. I'm going to change this. You see how the dimensions are 960 by 540? We're going to go to 2200. That's as big as MX gets, and I think Animate can be a lot bigger than that, but don't quote me on that. Alright, so this is a giant kind of canvas we're working with. I'm going to change the background to light gray so I can see a little better. I'm going to go to View. There's a grid option. Show grid. So you're going to start seeing these kind of pixels here. They're kind of light, so it's hard to see. But if I zoom in, you can see a faint little pixel thing. Now, what's nice about this is you can change the pixel ratio. So I can go to Edit Grid. This is 18 by 18. If I wanted 16-bit, I would go around 12 pixels per square inch. And that's because I shrink the actual symbol when I'm done. So when you zoom into 100, you see you have 50, they're kind of big squares, but when I zoom into 100, I got these tiny little pixels. Now I go to View, Grid. I'm going to snap to grid and take off every other snapping thing, so snap to objects is off. So now we can just draw anything we want. You know, I could draw a little Corey here. Now you can see how long this is going to take, and that's why this might not work out to use pixel animation in Flash. It takes a while, so let's just do a little Corey like that. So I got my rough here. Now I'm going to grab on to the square. I'm going to grab whatever color I want. So I got the square tool now. Now I have snap to grid, so you can see that it's gonna, like, if I pick in the middle, it's just gonna favor a corner, and then I could get like the long lines like that. But if I have to hit a diagonal like I do on Corey here, you're literally just going kind of one little pixel at a time. So the diagonals are what are gonna kill you on this one. And then, you know, a lot of Pixel has shading and stuff. Not so much in Blood. We don't do a lot of shading at all. But so you can see what takes a quick cleanup line in MX is gonna be quite the task here, especially with the rounded edges. I found the hardest thing about pixel art is kind of figuring out how to do the circles, because it's all, you know. There's no rounded edges in Pixel. So that's...
Yeah, like...
Oh, wow, what a process. It's insane, just insane. I still can't believe it. It's great to see.
Is that F for respect again?
F for respect, or F for you're wasting your time.
Or F for you fail.
Yeah, F for failed time management. And we did a whole web series called Voltron like this. And it was when we were working in Bob's basement. And well, we weren't going very quick. Let's just put it that way. So you get this like that. So I'm just gonna quickly do a little more of this because I could. This could be.
This is not any better than animating on a bitmap. It's just we can now do everything in Flash.
Tell us how. Like we like to be able to do.
Yeah,
symbols,
because I could do this and
moves.
make a symbol of it, and then I could move it around.
We
And,
can scale it up and down if we need to.
and it's vector
achieve
too,
it,
so I could always change the size, and it's not gonna lose any like line quality. All right, then you could get like the bigger stuff pretty easy, like that. But I don't know. I've seen people do pixel art in Photoshop and these speed runs, and it just looks so much more graceful in that. Because I think you can actually use a brush to make you could make a brush look like a leaf and kind of build out a tree in one day, or in a few strokes. Where this time, God, remember that tree in Voltron? How long that took? I should go. I'll open up the Voltron library to show you what the hell I'm talking about. I got some sort of OCD where if I don't finish this now, I'm gonna hate myself. So I'm gonna just finish at least the line work here. So, and this is such a cartoony style, but Voltron, we made it a robot, so everything was symmetrical. So it was a little. Like I could just do half of Voltron from the side and then duplicate it. That's his eyebrow, believe it or not. F for time fail. Alright, so you can see what one drawing would take. You could actually time it here in Twitch. Try to do a speed run of this.
But then we're also able to start building out. Like you.
But
would
the
do
thing is,
head.
it's an exponential thing. Like once his head's done, like say I finished his skull, I would never do it on one layer, like that.
Yeah.
But then you hit erase lines, erase, and then you kind of
Yeah, like the eye. We would separate. You could.
like I
almost
would separate the
use that
eye and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and then you kind of got this. And I forget what Corey's colors are, but let's just pick something. And you know how. At least pixel art, they always have a bottom shader. So they would do stuff like this, like under it, and then pick a lighter color for the rest of it. Nose would probably have some shade under it. Here, I don't do this in the game Blood. I know his teeth color is this yellow. I think his skin tone's that. Could be wrong. I forgot his, I don't know if it's that. I think it's a light blue. And then I could do something like this on the side to give a little dimension. Do the same thing on this side. Do that anime thing.
This is definitely not how Ninja Bear was.
No, a Ninja Hero. I don't bring up our bad projects, Cody.
What was he talking about?
Ninja Bear is the thing
Oh,
Cody and I worked on when
Or
I
I did
think-
the pixel art.
I did the animation and you did the pixel art, but we were both in the last year of college, and anyone who's beyond graduated college and you look back at your old stuff, and that one was rushed too, because we were doing Well, we were super ambitious. We were like, let's just do a role playing game for your thesis, and you're like, yeah. You were like an hour story or something.
Yeah.
And then we were working on it, and we had some pixel art for it, but it was going nowhere fast. Right?
Was it pixel art for the whole thing?
He did pixel art, right?
Ninja Bear.
Yeah.
Ninja Bear was pixel art.
Yeah.
Though
played it
I
once,
wouldn't call any of that art what we were doing.
I played it once in
Yeah. So anyway, that's
apartment.
there you go.
That's all you need to play.
And you two in 25 minutes could get one drawing done of this simplicity. Ninja Bear, you say. Could you please explain how you did the shading? I think I missed. Oh, it's the same exact principle. It's gonna snap to whatever the grid is right here, and then you just pick whatever color you want, and then you can kind of play with it, and then.
Then the sad thing is once you finally zoom all the way out and play
Then
on
it
the
just
phone,
looks like a low
you play it
res.
on the phone, it just looks like an actual drawing anyways. It's a little bit out of
I
focus.
forgot his. Yeah, you could get the same thing by just hitting low res. Something like that, right? It's not exactly straight, but there we go. Well, what's nice about this, if I made this a symbol and then I could, I just showed you how slow it is to draw, but what I would do with something like this is make the skull, make the eyes, make the pupils, make the mouth all separate, and then embed those with symbols. So if I wanted him to lip sync, I would do lip sync within, it would all be embedded with the skull. So it's a little more indicative of Flash, ironically, than that. And let me show you some of the background stuff we did.
Or like, do we have Voltron? Like show
Voltron?
like how we did like
Yeah.
just one move. We had a couple of.
Yeah, no, I'll show you the Voltron library. Episode 1, Voltron. Pitch, Voltron. Was it final? We have it. Oh, series. Here it is. Episode. Well, I'll show you the libraries. So, Voltron was. You see, I had it designated into. Oh, this is when Bob and I were making the game.
Oh, that was, yeah, that's right.
But you see, we got all. We were always obsessed with Zelda, I guess. But you can see here, this is all pixel art, and you can see like I would puppet a lot of stuff. So like the head had a lot of layers here. You see all those layers? And I would just kind of ease in, ease out like that. Then I'd puppet it like that. So you could see, I broke it down so we had a lot of different kind of layers, and then we could reuse that. Like that hand, I could use on any of these guys. You could see this hand right here, it's the same as that hand right there. And then I just did the 360s of them. So this was one of them. I don't know what a pixel is. Oh, this is for the. This is another one when we were working on the series. So, yeah, but like, it looks like a lot more than it is because I used one skull or like one head for him the whole time. And then just added a bunch of fight moves to make it look interesting.
Yeah, like the face never really.
Yeah, that took me forever though. That guy took me forever. He was big. Let me show you some background stuff. World map. Let's try the world map. Okay, so this is the background. Some of the stuff. And again, same principles. Just all kind of stuff. This is a far shot of stuff. This was, we tried to make everything look like a game in this one. Did little, like, animations for, there's a few of them. Oh, yeah, Dr. Reboot. I got the seagulls, I got all this stuff happening. So, a lot of prep work and then kind of execution. I wanted my reboot to acknowledge that and give the characters more expressions beyond typical happiness. Yeah, Voltron is so good. No, it's good. I mean, the thing with pixel art is it's very time consuming, at least the way we do it. And there's probably better pixel artists that are in Photoshop who could give you a lot more better tips. I don't need to. I'll save this for later. Just don't want to waste it. Corey Pixel. All right. Now let's pivot back to. No, don't want to save that. Don't need to save this. I'm going to show you what I did for this giant, big old rat. Because he was a lot of fun. Animation, characters, Rat King. Okay, so I kind of set him up. I always bring in Becky Sprite just so I always have kind of a size indication of it. So he he starts off as this bigger size rat anyway, and then the surprise at the end is he turns into this kind of boss right here, and then we kind of got a big cycle. So I had fun with this right here. So this is all the layers, and a lot of this is just debris, like that encompasses anything from dirt to blood. The blood, BLOOD. So this is the animation, and I kind of separated the head and stuff. So then I separated the rat and everything. So I always keep everything on the same chart, and then I wanted like this kind of like gnarly kind of change, like his head changes last. What's it?
That's the bond. Screaming about that.
No, shit. Well, it's only for me. Love it.
Or me have to
I love this. Yeah, no, it is a shame. It is a shame that I don't. I do all this effort and then don't do that part.
Imagine the hours that you've saved by not typing
Yeah.
in.
But then imagine the hours I lost looking for it. So what? Yeah, someone mentioned the rats on the back, so I had this rat actually jump on, and I thought it'd be fun for the cycle, just to give it a little more fun stuff to look at. This is just a giant ease in, ease out too. Sort of had the rats on there, and I separated the torso, separated that arm, because this arm has a different kind of chart. But I wanted it to feel like, most of his body's infected, I figured, so this part is the most infected, and this will be the part that attacks Becky the most and that stuff. And then I have these rats kind of just doing their little cycle here. And the head is the same exact thing, just big ease in, ease out. And then I did some secondary on these kind of tentacle things to give it a little more kind of secondary stuff to make it feel a little more grotesque. And what I like about this game is playing with, you have these kind of cutesy characters, real small, and I like the idea that this rat kind of starts off a little cutesy and then turns into something unexpected. So when people first play this game and maybe never watched any of these Twitches,
There'll be a lot of those.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of those. They'll get a little blindsided by, it's like, oh, this character looks easy, and all of a sudden, hopefully it gives a little bit of a horror element. So he was fun, and we're going to have to do attacks on him. And, yeah, it's kind of a vampire, tentacle, zombie hybrid. But, no, I had fun with that this week. Gnarly. Great work. Shame. Yeah, no, it is a shame that I don't layer anything. Oh, I also did this little mosquito up there too. Never mentioned that last week. Okay, so we can play with some more walk cycles. Let me.
I missed before. Were you saying that moved too slow?
Well, I'll show you. Corey. You see, like, if we're matching, and you don't have to in games, honestly, but this is sort of the speed he's walking at, 17 frames a second. That feels like if Becky was here, she would just cruise on by. And Becky's wearing a cape the whole time, so we never knew where she's going. But it's fine if he's not in your way, but I feel like if he's in your way, or we're gonna have to take away a lot of frames. But we have to talk to Cody how we need a speed test, Because if you play the game,
Well,
he
if he
cruises.
just, yeah, maybe he run like you.
Oh, maybe
run.
I'll do a run cycle for it.
Like
now.
you kind of have that from the
Yeah.
scared one, right? Too.
Well, the scared one is a scare run. Where's the? Yeah, I got this run.
Which I feel like he'll be doing a lot of.
He's always scared. So, and what I like about runs is your feet never really touch the ground too
So you can
much.
really
So
get
this
far.
one you can kind of pace out at any.
Distance he needs.
You know, if I
to get.
grab this, go to Corey walk.
Like he would use maybe that walk just when he's kind of wandering around in the.
Like, if it's a foot race, I mean, I feel like it'd blow on by. I mean, this is 7 seconds. No one wants to take. That feels real slow. Maybe not that, but
That's. I mean, even Becky moves quicker than that, right? Across.
I think a lot quicker than that.
Yeah.
Let's take away some frames, see what that does. That I might as well not animate.
That's
Yeah,
probably about right.
probably you're right.
Yeah.
All that work and you won't even see it.
Pretty much.
But what I always sort of was under the guise that
I mean, he's
the
just,
walk cycle should be twice as slow as the run cycle.
yeah. Well.
Like that's sort of the math I did.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so let me grab this guy's arm. And
Another day's problem.
that's another day's problem. We'll have it figured out by the time he's in the game. So I can add this arm to the back. So what I'll do is kind of line it up like that. Now, that looks strange because it's walking in unison. So what I would do is just grab half of it, drag the back half to the front, vice versa, and you kind of got this. Get a little more dimensionality to it. It might work, might not. That doesn't look, it probably won't look good at 25%. But I can use this arm now for the next, like the front walk cycle. It could work, it could not. It's a little... I mean, I'll keep it in there. It could be a little distracting, but just so cute. Thank you. GG. Okay, well, thanks, Esteban. It was good talking to you. And I'll promise to write when I'm happy.
I don't know if that's good. That's not too often.
That might not be in a while.
Maybe sometime in 2022.
When Blood's finished, and I'm a 50-year-old man. Okay, so we can do a run cycle now, or I could do a happy walk cycle. Oh, another subscriber. Thanks, everyone. So what I'll do here is to duplicate the symbol. Walk. Corey walk neutral. So this one would be a Corey walk happy. Now I'm going to keep the legs, and this one is just adjusting the arms. And this kind of beckons back to what I was just talking about in the pixel segment, where I can now reuse this body, which is great. That, you know, that's just one less thing. And we might be able to just change the head, honestly, and make him happy, but let's give him a little bit of arm swing and, you know, play with the emotion a little bit more. So, happy, I figure you kind of swinging your arms a little more robustly. So we'll start the arm up here. The back is here. Just gonna rough that out. The back could probably stay the same. And we'll swing it that way. Give it a little more bend. And then the in-betweens would be... Now, when you're doing this happy swing, if you kind of do it like, you know, he's kind of going gee whiz kind of thing there. So what I would do here is actually keep the arm bent this way. So it bends that way. It doesn't have to bend that much. Keep the arm bent a little bit more that way. Favor that side. And on the way back, we'll kind of extend it down. See, it kind of makes a, you know, ideally it would make kind of a perfect circle. But it's, you know, you can add a little bit of attitude with something as small as that arm change. So let me quickly do that, see if this works. Gonna make sure all these are red, just so I know which ones are the roughs. Put that on a different layer. Alright. Just quickly clean these guys up. I always like these thick brushes because it just, you cover so much ground with them or something. You have to be, it forces you to be a little more confident with it too. Onions getting that. Arm goes down like that. Remember, slight bend, keeping the circle in mind. One of the hardest things I ever had to animate, and I still don't like it to this day, is riding a bicycle, because I never liked how I could never figure out the pedals almost, you know, because that's supposed to, you know, it's technically an ease in, ease out with everything, but you had to rotate it at a constant rate. I've never had a good time with that. So what do you think about my show premise so far? By the way, the CGI parts are supposed to be slightly reminiscent of Hot Diggity Demons. I never heard of Hot Diggity Demons Brain Dump series, so you'll have to excuse me for that. But I mean, you know, we've always been fans of kid shows. I think that, you know, they get a lot of mileage out of stuff. I know it's a real cutthroat kind of part of the industry, though. Like, it's hard to get a kid show made. But and you know what's funny about, I think, any show? It's not necessarily about the style of the show. It's all about the execution and mostly the writing, I think. So you're gonna have to sort of go into it thinking that it does help knowing people that are on that side of the industry
a lot
too.
of the same people getting the kid shows again.
Yes. No. Like
anyway, that was on Blues Clues is still.
Yeah. No.
Kid
That's
shows.
It's an easier barrier. And you'd be surprised what, like, we've pitched kid shows, and now they're even more. There's so many rules you have to follow now about, like, what you can and can't show and what's, you know, safe and unsafe and stuff. So it's a tough nut to crack. Let's see, we're gonna favor that side. And then you're gonna swing up here. Oh, and Super Luchito. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. All right. So got a little bit more happy here, I think. Quickly do all these little in-betweens. I think we already established that these are going to be quicker anyway, but it's better, I guess, to have these frames in and then remember which ones we take out. I figure for, like, if we do a happy run, he could kind of skip, you know, like how I did in Cody the Dinosaur, like with the Cooper character. That would really, I mean, I'm just thinking of what we could use and the practicality of the game, and I imagine there's times when he's happy and running, and he's the most expansive NPC character we're doing. We're not going to be doing this with every NPC character because we have, I think, upwards of 60 of them already. But he sort of follows you on the adventure, and he's kind of your confidant in the game, so. There's a little something there, I think. Let's turn off that one. What's this? What layer is this? That's the head. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that head, actually. Because all I did with the neutral head to make the happy head is I just changed the mouth out, and I'm going to do the same exact thing here to save some time. Do you guys like the Flash program more than other animation programs out there? I like it more by default because I haven't used a lot of other animation programs out there. But I've always tried to go on record in saying it's not so much the program as what the program can do for you. I like the way Flash draws, and it's probably because I've had 19 years working in it too. So I'm a little bipartisan that way. So, but I love the way I feel like I know exactly what I need to do to animated Flash now, and that just came from a lot of time served. Let me put that there. All right. So what I could do here, copy those frames, paste them, move them over to the back. Make sure that's looking right. Just gonna move them so that's the opposite. Gonna have to move that back a little bit. All right. So I got this kind of happier walk cycle here. Now we have to make his face happy. Now what I'm gonna do here is this is all raw art here. So I'll show you my trick, and it's just sort of a cut-in. So you kind of see how he has this happy face. Now, if you look at these two faces, everything in this face and that face, not the library, everything is the same except the mouth, and that's all I have to change on this guy now. So, using that mileage term again, I'm trying to get the most out of every drawing since we're kind of on a borrowed time. So what I'll do is just kind of match cut it here. Give him a big kind of dorky smile. He has a little bit of buck teeth. And then up to 5. You can stretch that one out. Teeth can kind of come out a little bit there. That, and then just sort of match the edge of the nose to the in-between here. So this is an example of how you can start really knocking some of these out if you're kind of in a library system mode. And Flash is kind of designed to be a library mode. You said the game's not working with the PlayStation controller? It is. We could show you the game. We're not just talk here.
Yeah, we're mostly talk.
We're mostly talk, but on occasion, we put our money where our mouth is. So I'm gonna hit paint behind here, and then I'm gonna just do my best to kind of match cut this in. This is match cut's kind of or cut in, they call it. And it's an old term when layering in cells were a big issue because you. What was that?
I said
not mine.
G-chat.
Okay.
You could start downloading it, maybe.
Okay, cool. I'll just color this first. Match cutting's an old term when everything was done on cell, and you had a character, say, behind a log, but he's leaning on the log. What in Flash, what we would do was just draw the torso behind the log, the arm on top of it, the head on top of it. Layers don't mean anything, but when they wanted to do it on cells, every time you added a cell, it would lose a little bit of color saturation behind the other cell. So they didn't want to focus on too many layers. And you know, a good example of that is the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, where you see, you know, Yogi Bear's head kind of was a different color than his torso. It wasn't meant by that, it was just on top of a different cell. So what they would do, instead of drawing the torso behind it, is draw the torso on top and then match cut it to the background. And especially in the old 30s stuff, you see a lot of examples where they weren't really perfecting the camera stuff yet. Alright, so I'm going to name this Corey 3/4. 3-4 walk happy head. Oh, okay. Oh, I just copied that, so let me go back in there. Someone's having a good time. Control C. So I'm grabbing both layers now. Paste that back in there. Got the whole thing now. Unguide that. Bring that in here. Okay. I'm just going to line it up to the other one. I need to skin this so I can see exactly where it's lining up. Go to the top. That's going to go back to 9. So 5 is up. Just, 6. Then I'm going to just do ease in, ease out in between each one. So I'll hit a frame in between each one. This is so just has a little bit of not so robotic kind of a thing. Just go ease in, ease out. -100, 100, 100, -100, 100, 100. Get rid of anything extraneous. One of these two heads. Alright. So now I got that, and if I did everything right, we'll have 2 different walk cycles, and so, yeah, I mean, it's a subtle change, but I think, you know, with using the parts we had, it was sort of the best we could do with the limited layers we had there. And I don't know, from afar, I think that could work. Could probably be speedy. Hold on now. Again, my series is based on older property that hadn't had new content of late, and it's very hypothetical, nothing real yet. I mean, it's hard using real stuff, too, I'm going to be honest, because you're going to need permission if you ever want to sell it, so... LOL The Weekend, it's radically different take on the franchise, but nothing official. Yeah, if you have, like, an IP of, like, that's not your own, it's going to be a real hard, unless you get permission from them. Now, if you just want to do a parody thing on YouTube, that's a different story, because the laws of parody are a lot easier. Okay, so let me save this. Now, where am I going to download this one?
GChat, and just
GChat.
click that.
This one.
Yep. And then just hit
Hit that.
direct download.
Direct download. I'm going to try to play the game.
Here, we'll let it. Yeah, I don't know if you have. I think I had.
Do I have the right controllers?
I don't know if I had to do something for the PlayStation if I needed a driver. I don't remember.
Alright. Now, none of this stuff's in the game yet, because we just animated it. But, while that's downloading. Let's see. This is also always a good time. We're a little later on this one. But I always encourage the audience to ask us any questions about animation. If you have any questions about something you're struggling with in animation and you think Bob or myself or Cody can help you, you know, throw your question in there. I don't know what Cody can do, but if you have a program, I have questions I have more questions for Cody about programming. Like, why aren't you programming?
I got some questions for Andrew to answer.
Oh, anytime, Bunny Eat Muffins. I like sharing this kind of stuff. You know, I try not to keep any secrets in turn. I've always liked kind of teaching too. When we had a thesis student and stuff, that was fun. So I, you know, like showing the way we animate and how we approach stuff. We're a small studio, and we have to get a lot done in a short amount of time to just compete. So we like showing it off for sure. Are you guys going to Lightbox? What is Lightbox? Oh, me? Well, Cody and I are going to Spain to show off blood. To, what is that called? 3D wire or something?
I think it was it.
To showcase blood, and it's an animation. And you wanna?
Plugs in still? You could try it. I just didn't know. If
I don't know if I downloaded it yet. They downloaded.
What is?
Lightbox Expo. Where's this? California?
California. I haven't been there since I got rejected by every studio in the valley.
I don't want to.
This one is my keyboard.
Which could be a problem.
That could be a giant problem.
Plug that right back in after, I guess, actually.
Wait, won't I need it to do something though?
Probably not. Just run the blue.
What do I do? I bring all this out into my.
No. Did you uninstall it?
Yeah.
Did you?
Do I just bring blood?
Just double click blood.
Blood right there. Extract all?
Oh, go back. You didn't extract the entire.
No, not yet.
Yeah, go back out and extract all.
Wait, just double click it or?
Is it not extract? Oh, where did you find this?
This is in
In the right click that, extract.
Where did you find this?
It's up top.
extract all. All right, let's see if this game works. This is where Cody's sweating it out. Oh, you see, I make mistakes in animation, and I could just not put it on YouTube. But this is live now, Cody.
So now, wherever.
And any mistake that's made, I want to make clear that was done by Cody, not Andrew.
So now, double click. Yeah, that was always Cody.
It was always this one.
Yep.
Run.
Yeah. Do it.
Fastest or
Yeah,
best?
do it. We'll do fastest for now. I guess.
Fastest?
Ask Cody. He might know.
Cody, fastest, fast, simple, good, beautiful, or fantastic? Those are all like things you can't quantify. Is Cody there?
Oh, I guess not. Do fastest for now. I guess
Fastest.
they don't run it the best at least. And then I guess do it windowed so you
weird.
can
Display left. That's this one.
yeah,
right?
do windowed. There's a checkbox.
Windowed.
Yeah.
Okay. Play. All right. Let's see
You
if
can
this
even
works.
make that a little bigger too if you want.
Can you everyone hear it? Press start. All right. Yeah, this ain't moving.
No, click on the. Use the mouse to click on the that. It was weird. Mine worked too. So
Yours
can you
was
punch
just-
though?
I can
See,
punch.
Like I had to click on. Yeah, I had to click on. It took me a second. It was weird. I clicked off. Let's see. Does it work?
No. Cody.
No, it wasn't him.
That's not
It was weird. Like that did it
Can
for
you
me.
move
And
it
it took
with
a
the-
second. Almost like. No, your keyboard's not plugged in anymore.
Oh yeah. And I can't.
I don't know if the keyboard works. Try it again one more time. Just. Oh, maybe you had to hit
Give it a whirl.
R1 or something. Oh, there you go. I hit quit.
So that's the game.
And that'll be $5.99.
Do you guys have internships? We occasionally we do and stuff, but lately we haven't needed any interns. If I did a 360 of our office, you would see that there's only one spot. Oh, there you go.
It's weird. It was a weird.
Okay. All right. So I know what's going on in the game, but I'll try to play like a newbie. So you can see Bob did this awesome thing where even the bushes and everything take punches and stuff. You can see if I walk over the flower, maybe you guys can't see, but they actually do react to us. And you can see, look, her walk in.
If it moves though,
Yeah, let her run. And watch, they grow back. All the sound effects were done by Bob. This we will be able to open. So, got all the talkies in there. Killing that. So all this stuff. Now we can walk over here. A lot of people did this first. Not again. Take it to you. was dying, I think if we get something, rush back to us. Wonder what's up. Alright. So Dad's calling you. Near enough, what's up, Dad? I had to run to the office for a big presentation. Can you feed the dog? And then I got options here. Oh. Gonna hit, of course. If you say why not, you're gonna have to anyway, so. Alright, look out for those cockroaches. Okay. So we got these nervous characters, we got Chatty Cathy. All these characters. We can break Mr. Kaplan's fence again with a little screen time this weekend. Okay. So we had a lot of. Is this the one with our secret in it? The treehouse?
Yeah, no.
Oh, and we do got the rules in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we found Fido the dog. We can look. Yeah, we love Dexter's Lab. So we definitely based it off. Those early 90s shows, or late 90s Cartoon Network, sort of our thing. Now Bob did this cool animation to get in here. Backflip. So we're kind of establishing early that she's sort of a badass. We got a few secrets in here. So if you guys got, hopefully by Magpress we have different stuff. We should have a whole level. You've obtained dog bones. Okay, so if you hit this,
I make the cut like a switchblade. I'm going up, I mean this way. I fight the forces of evil with me and my...
Turned it on. This is another indie game dev. She's angry because this guy's not finishing it. Though he probably has a lot of things to say about us now. That's awesome. Okay, so we got his poster in there, and Dong, if you're there, we love you, buddy. But you really do have to finish your game. 6 years is too long, and I say that as someone who's going to be working 7 years on our game. All right, so we got the dog bone. Feed him. Ring. So, call to action, he falls asleep. Alright, so, you know, a lot of beginning of these games, and this is purely a demo, so I don't even know if it's very story driven, but, we're just kind of showing people, get on the bus. We're just trying to show people, like, the mechanics. This is an example of what we want every kind of place where the kids to look like. You know, we want this thing to feel really lively. Like, it should feel like a cartoon when we're done. Not everyone we can talk to yet, but the idea is that, you know, some of these characters we'll be able to talk to in the game itself. This is a joke, this guy's always asleep. I can talk to Terrell again. The writing's all done by our friend Greg, the 5th member of Team Blood. Elon, we got Elon here. You see, each one of these talkies we wanted a little kind of character reveal too, so you can watch all the animations. Oh my god, looks so good. Is that Billy? Yeah, we did do a lot of it. The retro sound effects all done by Bob. It's Life as a Teenage Robot. We've been called that a few times.
I haven't really watched that one, but I guess they did a lot.
Yeah, I can talk to all these people, but let's get to the action. So this is sort of kind of giving your directions, what you're going to start doing at school. Heroic action voice. Alright, so she takes a nap. This is an example of a cutaway. So every time she falls asleep, we give another little piece of this mystery that's happening. we're at the school. Next kind of level. Again, all these things are interactive. Knock over, knock the trash can over. So, got the fountain here. More characters we can talk to. This thing we can look at. A little side mission we'll eventually add in. Then you can kind of explore your way around these parts. You know, there'll be secrets in all these things too, I think. Part of the best part of video games when I was growing up was not so much the gameplay, but having, like, exploring these areas and finding every nook and cranny of it. So we have, Cafeteria is locked. So we have to figure out how to get through there.
And everything's
Okay.
everything's designed and made in Flash. The backgrounds are all.
Yes, everything's done in Flash. Even the textures here, kind of hard. So we're kind of showing these boxes. Is that Cody? So this is the detention room. Kids are pretty sunny disposition for being in detention. All right. Uh-oh. So our first stop. Let's see. First time I took damage here. So we're, you know, this is just basic level building. We're just trying to kind of guide the player to where to go next. Cafeteria is launched, leaving us this now. Alright. Now our friends the rats. They're easy now, but remember I animated that big boy. He's not gonna be there. Oh. They also can get you, we've got attacked by that. Here's an area that can be a little damage. Alright. So we found out the answer to Terrell. You know, could be a side mission. Let's look. Get to the crypts. We've been. You meet all sorts of characters at these conventions. We were told we shouldn't name our game Blood because it might incite gang war in LA. Yeah, the writing is perfect. I want to get Greg involved in these Twitches more because he can answer a lot of the story things. For anyone who's having questions, we might have seen this guy. Alright. So again, it's small explored. See, we're starting to get these now. We can't. See, we're starting to. You learn there that you can't hurt these guys yet. And I like what Bob added with the UI up here. See, as her hearts go down, her face gets more beat up. So, you know, all these little details start adding up. Okay, so
Oh boy, the alphabet. Yeah, Lauren's asking about the
Oh,
the
you
font.
wanna-
The font wasn't real.
Yeah.
That Cody was telling me that. But I can't tell.
Yeah, then we have them shimmered, so they're actually 3 different texts. Yeah, no, so it's, you know, to get that shimmer, it was not as simple as just tracing it back like we do in Flash. Alright, so got the pencil. So this is sort of like the boomerang slash projectile. Now this could be used on any enemy. You might remember those bats from the beginning. Now I couldn't hurt them before. super cool thing where like the pencils can be guided. So like even if you're not perfectly in line with these guys, they'll kind of favor them. So, you know, I'm gonna show you this animation because this is really hit in the eye.
That was hard to hear.
Oh, is it hard to hear me?
It's gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't standing very close to the mic. Yeah, the text. Can you hear me better now, or is the music so loud and blood that I can't?
That could be it. Is
That
it
could be
real
it.
loud?
Is it loud? I'm sure it's loud in my.
Oh, it's loud in your headphones.
How did I turn that down? Corey. I have no idea what that is. Dragor is the Master of Darkness. So. So this is sort of explaining a little bit of the lore. You can see even Corey's design changed a lot from these sprites. We kind of made him a little more compact. Yeah, this is real loud. How do I do that? You wanna?
I don't know. It's probably more of your sound.
I'll get your box. Yeah, sorry guys about this. There, that's good. Oh, I almost hit restart. Okay, so if you remember that, I got electrocuted there. So now that I have the pencil, there we go. Still a little dicey. Morning, Doctor Who now. Friends don't lie. So, everyone knows the references we're going for. Okay, so this is a new introduction here. So, I'm so used to throwing the pencils that I'll probably keep trying to hit these guys. You can see they sort of disappear. So, this is another kind of learning curve we want here where, well, the pencil's not working. And if I get too close, they attack. So, it's going to be kind of a combo. Oh. Did it kill it? Again, he's hit me. I've seen people just run past this though, since these guys aren't moving yet. But they are gonna actually be mobile soon. So there's gonna be another cutaway that kind of explains that a little more too.
Professor Rockwell is in deep trouble. Go save him and hurry!
That was Bob doing his. He does one voice for all our stuff. It's a nerdy nasally voice. It's anyone who's seen Hercules in New York, the first Arnold movie.
It's like a bad Woody Allen.
It's a bad Woody Allen impression. Alright, so I got these guys. Uh-oh, a bloody door. What could that be?
Yeah, I guess it is.
So this is the first off we ever animated. Little bit of sequence animation.
I always forgot you could roll.
Oh yeah, you can roll. I never did a roll. We established a while ago that sort of eyeballs are the vulnerable part of vampires, so now they get a little tougher. Now two are coming out at a time. We saw people at Mag just really struggling with this, so it was constantly being tinkered with a little rubber. Nice actually. Yeah, because people can run out the door or something it is.
What's that? The magnet. Like they made the magnet.
Alright. Finn. F-I-N. That's the demo. Now, you know, I know what I'm doing and stuff. I've seen people play it for around a half hour. I call it a 20-minute demo. We have a lot more content to put in, obviously, but we're getting there. I love the voice acting. So good. Definitely can't wait to play this. When is the next festival? Is it just MagFest?
I think that's the next one we're doing.
Yeah.
Because we're not like
Unless
we
you guys
wanna
are
add, like a whole new.
I might see some of you in Spain, maybe. I don't know. We'll have the game there. All right, let me plug back in my keyboard. See if that doesn't.
You can probably turn the
audio back up.
audio back up in here.
Okay, let's do that.
Did you guys hear me?
Now I can hear you. What was going on?
No, I felt like
Wait,
during the gameplay it was tough.
Oh no, it was too loud. I was told, and I'm sure it was because it was. I can hardly hear, and it was blasting in my ear. Amazing work. Well, thank you. Fun demo. Congrats. Just watch 11.
Until you mentioned the Stranger Things reference, I played that demo so many times and I never got that reference.
Cody.
The friends don't lie. I don't know why it never hit me.
Friends don't lie, and that's why I have to tell you right now. You had to start programming again. That's not a lie.
You have to do it better as well.
It's better. All right, let's. Okay. All right, back to drawing one of these frames at a time. So we're gonna do a sad run walk cycle.
After
now.
that, we're gonna do a
sad walk cycle because we're. Also, I'm realizing how much more time is left to, or how much more we have to do to get a level done. So the new thing that's going to happen in 2020 is a whole brand new kind of concept of it. We have the inside of the house. We got a whole new area where we're playing with new monsters to fight. It's legitimately going to try to be like level 1 of, you know, what hopes to be, I don't know, 6 or 7 level game. So we have our work cut out ahead of us. Gonna duplicate symbol. Call this sad. We could do this 2 ways. We could do it like the Charlie Brown sad, like just have his head down, kind of sad. But I figure it'll kind of keep the same posture as the one on top of him, right here. So I can actually grab the head. Actually, I'll grab the whole body. Might as well. Just group that so it doesn't. So I figure the sad walk, he won't even really lift his legs. He'll kind of just shuffle his feet a little bit, kind of drag his toes. What we want to do is make sure everything's the same speed, though, so it'll still have to be 17 frames. So I'm gonna Control-Shift-D. Gonna ignore the head right now. Let's just rough out something real quick. Alright. So I always start with any walk cycle I start with, it's always gonna be the 2 points of contact. You know, the extended legs. I never really start with the middle part here because I want to kind of get a scope of how far they're going to be stepping. Now when you're doing a sad walk, you know, you're hunched over, arms are down, your back's kind of that way, and I figure you're kind of just like not lifting your legs up very high, you know, sort of get like a bad posture about it. So I'm just gonna do the body first, and we'll worry about the arm later. So we're gonna not gonna be too far. We can actually probably move that a little bit closer like that, just to keep the balance. Characters have to be balanced and all this stuff. You don't want him to look like he's about to tip over. Grab that. Alright, so the 2 points of contact, it's heel, toe, toe, heel. And Bob, what's Thursdays? We're doing another After Effects thing. What do you want to do, like a character rig for After Effects?
Make that as you
So
go
that our Thursday Twitches, that's all we do.
roll.
Our Thursday Twitches aren't really about blood. It's just about how we approach kind of problems we have in the studio, and it can encompass anything from animation. So Bob's going to do an After Effects animation where he's going to kind of show you how he would rig a character. It's going to be more of a cartoonish character or little kid oriented kind of stuff. And he's going to show you how he does that. And I plan on learning something too.
I'm gonna have to reteach myself.
He's going to have to teach himself. He might have to be learning on the job too. So yeah, look out for that. That's every other Thursday, and it's called After Effects Quick and Dirty. And it's going to be from that side of the studio. You'll see me drawn in the back. Something we're getting paid for, but probably unhappy with.
I don't know if we're not gonna be either.
Or I could. Yeah, we've had a weird 2019 where every payment that we're owed is delayed and jobs are falling through, and man, it's been a real trial. Anyone else finding that about 2019? Or are people just not liking our studio? It could be either. Let me just fix this leg. I'm not happy with that leg. When you work this small, sometimes it's even a little off. It looks strange to me. Fix that like that. Okay, that's better. Frame 13 or 9 is going to be the opposite. So this leg right here is going to be forward like that. Now what I do for roughing out, I usually just grab the same leg opposite, just move it over like that, kind of follow the contours of the back. Then I'll do the same thing on that side and kind of just, so we try to keep the same sort of pacing. So that leg you don't even really see. So, okay, so let me clean that one up. Oh, wait, some of my friends haven't been paid on time for freelance work. Oh boy, that's like a freelance rite of passage, not getting paid on time. Clients are crazy this year. Yeah, I know. Same with us. It's been really ugly. Hey, I really like the art style you drew for the characters. Well, then look, oh, thank you. And I guess it's more serious characters like Vamp. Yeah, the what I like about this sort of what we're doing with this game a little bit is we're kind of pairing like this cutesy style with a horror element. So it's not like we've played games like I've played games like Silent Hill and it's really creepy and I have fun playing it, but that's not the kind of it's not the theme we're really going for here. We're going for like if Cartoon Network was sort of haunted. So with the, it's called Blood. It has violence. There's blood in it. It's essentially a murder mystery. So there is adult themes to it, but we're kind of pairing it with this kind of cuter elements. And I think it does some nice things to it when you compare these cute characters like this little pink dot called Becky, and she's fighting this giant kind of veiny vampire monster, and it's a good pairing, I find, because it makes her look cuter and it makes him look more grotesque. So we're kind of playing with it on that end. Alright, so what's happening here is the back's going to go up. This is going to bend down like that. And he's going to be dragging his feet sort of like that. So normally when you do a walk cycle, it would go up like that. But what I want is him to drag his feet like he said. Kind of a Charlie Brown walk. There we do, so. Then he'll kick it out. He'll kick it at the end, sort of, so his toes shoot up.
Let's kick it.
Let's kick it. Friends don't lie. I already missed Stranger Things. I want another season.
Oh,
It's the last thing I really watched that I'm like, oh, like this is perfect. I'm just when I work at night now. I'm just rewatching Breaking Bad again for the 1500th time. Okay, so I just brought this guy over to get the sort of the back where I needed to get. No, I already miss it. But I heard they're doing 5 seasons now instead of 4. Is that true?
I heard something there might be, which I get nervous of when
I do get nervous, but I was nervous about the second season,
Yeah.
and this one did right by me. Okay. Let's clean up that one. Happy Friday. Oh, Xander's here. Hey, Xander. Xander, I never got to email you back, but how's Eagle Island doing? Are sales good? He's behind the people that distribute Eagle Isle. That really beautiful pixel game.
Not to get confused with Jeffrey Epstein's.
Not the island where Jeffrey Epstein was doing his deeds. I mean, Powerpuff Girls. The joke is to be cute, but they're brutally. Yeah, no, you're right, Spunky, Vandy. Where it is always fun to kind of have a cute character be a badass too. No, I read some good reviews on it, and we got to play it at the fest and all that, so it gives us hope that we could finish.
One day.
Not a lot of hope, but hope's a fleeting thing. Doing lots of fun art for the game. I bet. Yeah, Xander is an incredible artist. Alright, so we're gonna flop the foot down, so the foot's gonna come flopping down because he's kind of like hunched over and hopping on it a little bit. We're gonna keep dragging the foot here till the end. Bend it a little past that. So it's a different walk cycle for sure. Might have to rough that one out a little bit, guys. Let me start over. Alright. So you see there's a little drag to the foot there. Like he's kind of kicking his toe against the ground.
Xander's asking don't get us started on our opinion on anime.
Oh yeah. If you're a fan of anime, people don't like my opinion of anime. It's a quirky program for me. We use it for a bunch of projects because it's the most modern of the Flash kind of family. But I find it draws really wonky. That's a lie. It draws decent, but there's a lot of quirkiness.
A lot used to like.
Yeah, no, like CS5, no one could draw anything in it, and I guess they circled back and did what they were supposed to do the whole time. But no, I'm not a giant fan of it. It feels clunky to me too. Like it's just a clunky program. Like I'm opening it and there's a lot of tabs open all the time, and you can't edit a symbol for some reason. Yeah, though they fix some of those things. Hey, any preference or opinions between OpenTunes or Blender Grease Pencil? I've never used either of them, so I see people do tremendous things on them though. I find, you know, I'm not a technical guy at all, so what I probably like about MX the most is that it's a stripped down program, and I'm just using it for its very basic necessity, which is drawing, occasionally tweening, and kind of library allocation, and that's all I really need. Okay, you okay, Cody? What happened?
I dropped something.
What did you drop?
I heard that one.
It just all bam! It's like something super loud.
I'm getting very angry at my program right now.
Cody's. It's not that he's not programming; he's just not programming blood, which is upsetting. Why aren't you working for free, Cody? I don't understand this. How are you going to be part of Exit 73 if you're not working for free constantly? It's like cracking open a beer. Went horribly wrong. Bob and I did a few of those yesterday. All right. Closer here. Okay. These are the easy in betweens. When you get into those hard projects, I'm always looking for the easy in betweens, like the settles and just the closer the line, the better. We have a few coming up, a few projects coming off that we're gonna be in the weeds. Exciting ones though, stuff we're really happy to be a part of. Oh, I never showed this stuff on Kung Fu Kickball, which we just got its release date. Oh, and a new subscriber. Oh, subscribed with we owe to Brando84. Here, I'm sending you my email. I don't have to do it capital. Send me just an email back, and I will send you a personalized piece of art thanking you for the subscription, and I'll send that out monthly. So you guys get free art, compliments of me. Okay, so it's quick again, but remember we watched the other one, and he was moving mighty slow, so this feels really quick for a sad walk, but you know, we're gonna have to live with that pace. Okay, then I can do the arm, which I'll do a match line to. Color this. Did anyone here wanted to see some of the flash files for Kung Fu Kickball before we move on? It's Bob, could you get the YouTube version or Twitter up of it so people could see what the animation actually is? Because I know it's going to run slow if anyone wants to see it.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Well, yeah, it's that texture. All right, so we've got a little shuffle here. Yeah, okay. Shuffle along. So now I'm just gonna add the arm. Yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know. You guys rock. Email address might be missing.
Oh, next. Did you? Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's what's that?
You just misspelled.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. Exit 73. What did I spell wrong?
You missed
E
X.
it. Okay, hold on. It's exit 73. You want to do this? Bob sending that out too. Let me send it to you. Sorry about that. All All right. Does anyone? So this is you put the YouTube up. We just helped out another indie game dev. It's Whale Food Games. It's our friend, new friend, our new indie game friend, Jonah. Is it Jonah Weinstein or something? We call him Jonah. He's doing this cool game called Kung Fu Kickball. We met him at MagFest last year. He reached out, asked us to animate his intro, and he was really cool. We got to design all the characters. We got to make this 36-second intro. Bob killed it with the music, and we just, got that done real quick for him. And now he's on the way to the release date, which is early 2020.
Right?
He's polishing. What's that?
You got a publisher.
He's got a publisher. I think that's called
Blowfish Studios.
Blowfish Studios. So he's well on his way to, starting to see some dividends on all the hard work he's been putting in, which is what we're all trying to do, I think. As an animator, I've always been fascinated because I've never really had the opportunity to make something and then get paid for it later down the line, more than just, we'll get paid for animation, obviously, but, or not so obvious, I guess. But, to get some sort of residuality to things seems like a really cool idea to me. I'm excited about that, if we ever get to sell it. Which is not going to happen if Cody just works on getting paid.
If Cody's just dropping,
if he
beer
keeps
bottles all
dropping
over.
his little basement, or not basement, garage. All right, we're coming to a close here anyway, so let me show you some of the Kung Fu Kickball. Okay, Lauren, yeah, that's all I needed was one person to agree. So let me open Kung Fu Kickball. This was a lot of fun. It was a fun, thick line weight. It was real cartoony style. We finished it a bit ago, and I'm glad it's out there now. Animation finished, I'm guessing. All right, so I'll show you some of these little camera moves, because this one's super camera move heavy, where all these sprites I'm working on are locked. The camera's locked. This one, we're playing with people coming into the foreground, background, all this stuff. So this is gonna play like crap.
You could just play it on YouTube link too, maybe. And then...
I just want to show some of the files because this is pre-effects too. So this one's playing with a lot of perspective, lots of layers. You can see all this stuff here. Let me turn. What's this? Okay. So each one of these has their own animation. Everything's on the same chart. Same with her. Same with the old man. Oh, Cody's got some kids going crazy.
What's new?
So you can see we're playing with a lot of perspective in this one. He disappears, shows up. And this is sort of what our studio's been more indicative of. We've been, we always, when we make a short or something, we always try to like do these crazy angles, these one shots and stuff. So that's what we kind of did with this one, is make it a lot of cheats one shot. But you can see he zooms off here. We kind of cut there, but because the eye's following the ball, it'll look like it's a one shot. This isn't playing as bad as I thought it would. So we got her. All just one camera moves. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad Joe, and again, I keep praising the indie game scene because they just let us sort of, if we were to do this with an animation client, we'd still be talking about design probably. But what's nice about this is
I'm
we just
trying
let us go.
different-
Yeah,
trying
no.
different things,
Trying
different
talking
shots.
about character development because they can, I guess. This is playing real slow now. But what I like, and this was a cool one because I did like a dark purple outline, not a full black line. And then the coup de grace is them fighting at the end. I can just turn off that. So a lot of fun camera stuff. And this was fun because I did the I don't even remember how I did this honestly, but I made this weird curve, and it looks like faux 3D a little bit, but it's just moving symbols on a guide layer. And when you play it together, and with Bob's effects and all the stuff, it has this weird kind of like Sonic. Remember that the old Sonic games where you're on the half pipe? Like that's what it felt like to me. So I had fun with this one. Cut to that and bong. There we go. So that's that. Oh, we're at 2 hours. All right. So let's see. Let's start talking about what's coming up in the next few weeks. Well, if you guys are in Spain October 3rd, come and stop by and see me and Cody. We're going to be talking a lot about blood and the animation industry and how we took blood from a pitch for animation and kind of segued it into what you see here. Thursday, Bob will be showing some After Effects stuff. Not blood related, but it's animation related, so tune in for that. So, and it's always fun to see what Bob can whip up in 2 hours. It's a lot more than a walk cycle.
I think Lauren was asking something real quick about guide layers, moving symbols on a guide layer.
Yes, I was moving that on a guide layer, but then I F6 the whole thing to get rid of the guide layer.
I don't know if she knew what I...
Oh, a guide layer is if you take a symbol and then you hit a guide layer above it, then you can actually draw a line and it'll follow the contour of the line as long as you hit it with the anchor point. So you'll get an arc when you motion tween. So rather than if you hit motion tween just from point A to B, it's going to pick a direct line, and this one you can actually add any amount of curves to it. And that's sort of what I did with that last background. I could show you real quick, actually. It's kind of easy. One more thing for Laura in here. Alright, so I'm gonna make this a symbol, just call it red ball. I'm gonna hit motion tween to 30, and when I hit motion, just go straight like that, right? Now this guide layer here, this is add motion guide above it. Just change the background here. What you're going to do is take a line, connect the two anchor points, one there, and at the end, one there. Now it's still going to be straight. Now if I move the line up, it's going to follow that. So that's, you know, it's a way to motion tween an arc. And you could go as crazy as you want with this. You can add as many, like, S-curves or anything you want to it, and it'll follow whatever the line is as long as it's on as long as the two anchor points hit. So, it's just one of those flash motion tween things. So yeah, next Friday it'll be more drawing blood, and we'll just keep kind of posting stuff on social media and all that kind of stuff. Any news on blood, we'll let you know. There's bloodgame.com, where the people who signed up a couple weeks ago got some cool poster art, and that kind of gives you an inside track on anything that we don't post on social media. If you're really a blood enthusiast and want to see news on that, go to bloodgame.com and sign up. All right, I think that I drew my arcs on the monitor with a dry erase marker. That reminds me of King of Kong for some reason. You remember that guy? He like mapped out the path of when he was playing Donkey Kong, and then his kids turned off the lights when he was about to beat the record. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Most champions. All right, so we will see you guys next week, next Thursday, actually. So keep tuning in and keep asking those questions. We really appreciate all this kind of stuff. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good weekend, guys.